Good morning, YouTube folks. Afternoon for those of you in a different time zone. I'm echoing him in the bathroom. If you hear a bunch of noise and crazy circus music back there, that is little boy Blue. He's out there, just showed up a little bit ago for visitations, and he is game on, tablet on full blast. So anyway, I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time, and I have not. I feel like I'm dim. I'm probably not, because, hang on. Let that be light. Anyway, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, and I just was being a lazy ass, and I just didn't get up and do it. You can do it. Anyway, this video is going to be about using a microscope to check your fertility by ferning. Ferning is just like what it sounds. It's like the ferns, the houseplants that you see with all the leaves on it. So basically, as your hormone levels change through your cycle, usually you will have some ferning in your saliva, because you're not using blood for this, you're using saliva. And I will explain the process step by step, and I'll tell you about where I got this little dealie here. But basically, you are using saliva each morning near your fertile time. You don't have to do this for the whole month. I did it one time for a whole month just to see if it changed, because I am one of those unlucky individuals who gets ferning all the time. Like almost daily, I've got some nice pretty ferns in there. And basically, the way it's explained is the hormones, when they get to your fertile window, it basically will cause your saliva to have ferning, which looks like a full slide. And I have a microscope slide. It came with the kit right here. And I'll tell you about where to get a cheap kit and how I got this cheap kit. But basically, the microscope slide, when you do the saliva in the morning, you'll see it, maybe a little fern here, and you'll move it around. Oh, there's one there, and oh, there's one there. Okay, that's not fertile. Fertile will be when like the entire drop, because you're using one little drop of saliva in here, and you have to let it dry. So once you put that drop on there and you're near where you would normally ovulate if you're regular, ignore the nails because I've ripped half of them off and I'm lazy ass. I didn't put them on again, so that's later. Anyway, so ferning basically, I usually ovulate around cycle day 13. Here's my OPKs from this time around. Let's see in the camera. That is cycle day 12, which is negative. The lines need to match or be test darker than control. Here's cycle day 13. So that one I marked as a positive because within an hour, that one, even though it's barely a tinge lighter on the test, it would have surely gone to positive within a couple hours. And this one is cycle day 14, also another one that I marked as positive. So these are getting old and faded, so sorry about that, but at least I capped them for you. I was thinking of you. I really was. So anyway, I'm going to explain to you about ferning when I normally would ovulate around cycle day 13. Worst case, between like 13, 14. And so I would check my ferning probably starting around cycle day 11, 12, 13, 14, around there. And I am ferning all the time, so it did not prove helpful for me. That's not the norm. I have to be the weird one all the time. But basically, that's why I stowed away the microscope, bang, right down underneath here in the cabinet. It's been sitting there for a couple of years now. I had to dust it off. It corroded on the little things underneath the battery, because as you can see, it's cordless. And the batteries are just in the bottom down here. And I was looking for the on-off switch forever. And yeah, the on-off switch basically is this little metal contact right here. So that when you spin this up, there's my light. That's off. Took me a while to figure that one out, folks. I had to bring out the instructions and everything. I'm going to show you the kit that I have in a minute. I couldn't find it. I think it's sold at toy stores, actually. But you might be able to order it at a hobby shop or online really cheap. I had a problem finding it here because Toys R Us didn't have one that was cheaper than like $100, and I wasn't paying that much for something I'm going to use for like 2 days out of every month, which didn't prove useful for me because I have ferning every day, but that helps me make the video for you because I'm going to have ferning right now, and it's not my fertile window. So anyway, basically when you get to your fertile window, so say in my cycle day 11, 12, 13-ish, because I normally ovulate on cycle day 13, My ferns on this slide would have all those days before been like, oh, there's some ferns. Oh, there's one in this corner of the slide, and you have to keep moving the slide around, like looking in that drop, saliva drop. And this is like hundreds of times the magnification. So I think I usually have mine, I can see the ferning at 300 times to 600 times. That's what's marked on this little doohickey right here, right there. It changes, and I can actually go all the way up to, I believe this cheap toy microscope, mind you, goes all the way from 100 times magnification to 1200 times magnification. That's deep. So I only ended up needing it on the second one, the 300 to 600. So I have a lot more power in this little sucker than I needed. But interesting thing, the kit I got comes with all kinds of weird things, and it's let your kids play with it on other days and don't let them break it. You can look up all kinds of weird little stuff. The kit comes with like bugs and legs and all kinds of ways that you can grow things on Petri dishes and whatever. I'll show you in a minute. I actually stuck my finger and put a drop of blood on a slide and put the little cover slip on there, and all that came in the kit too. Slid it in there, and it was the weirdest thing because you can see your blood cells actually like circulating, moving around, like it's alive. Anyway, back on task. So with the ferning, when you are in your fertile window, pretty much the whole saliva drop will, for the most part, have ferns all over. So you'll see so many more than what you've been seeing on your non-fertile days. But here's the kicker. You might see a lot of ferns like I do all through your weeks or whatever, based on your chemistry in your body. But when you're really fertile, the ferns start out as like branches. Imagine like branches of a tree, and they have a few leaves. Okay, that's not fertile. When you get to being fertile, it's the tree branches have grown branches, and those branches have branches, and now everything's all like this. And all of these little things have little things sticking off of them everywhere that look like ferns. So it goes from like, I got 2 twigs on my tree, and there's a little branch, and here's a little branch, and here's a branch. That's not fertile. And then you go to like, bam, I got craziness going on all over, and all of these have leaves all the way around. It looks really cool. I will show you pictures of that when I get to that point. But first, I just want to show you, this is something that just is an extra step if you want to check your fertility, or if you're just a science geek like me. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to pause this right now so that I can go ahead and go to this big mega box kit, because I don't really want to pick it up because I want to be able to open it. If I pick it up and open it, everything's going to the floor. Be right back. Okay guys, and I want to apologize for yesterday's video where I did the vlog update on the hospital and breakfast. I didn't realize that this phone is so sensitive with the mic being where it was that for me to film in this position, horizontal instead of vertical, I'm hitting the mic all the time. So I'm going to try to minimize that today. Okay, so this is the microscope kit that I have. It is a little kid's one. And give me a second to open it up. Okay, now mind you, this is a really old kit. So there are your all-important instructions. Now this kit, look at all it came with. Okay, I'm gonna, give me a second. Sorry about mic noise if it comes on. Okay, I don't need all this, but I'm just gonna explain it anyway. It came with the slides. These are they feel like glass, but I think that they may be some kind of special plastic, almost like a plexiglass, but they are super sharp, so I have to be careful. This is a little bug card that came with it, and it's not focusing. It's got like bug legs and antennas and all this weird crap in it. These are the cover glasses. Focus for me. This is the, I broke my lens, my actual camera lens, when my phone fell that day with Romeo. So it's giving me like fits of focusing right now. It's actually shattered. I'm surprised that you guys can even see through here, but it's foggy. I apologize. Working with what I got, people. Petri dish I have not used, but it's there ready to grow whatever the heck you grow, and it gives you instructions for how to do all this. This was fibers, like hair fibers for different animals, so I thought that was kind of cool. And I do this stuff with little boy Blue all the time because I'm a science geek and I want him to be able to get some education in all things. And it does come with some sharp instruments, so this is not a little kid's kit unless you're going to be supervising them. Stop it. You know, I hate this. Autofocus goes on and it just goes nuts. And then when I try to do it, it acts stupid. These are some little micro hatchery things, and I didn't use those, but apparently you can grow things, little collection tubes. Came with different, it came with a telescope. Let me start with that. It came with a telescope. Don't you do it, you bastard. Look at this phone. Look, stop it. Act right. All right, came with a telescope. I haven't used that yet, but I am dying to use it. It's been sitting in the box for a long time, but little boy blue is short attention span, and it takes a while to find some stars and stuff like that with this, because it's not super high powered. I mean, it's 20 times 20, 30, 40 magnification, it says. Oh, it ain't that complicated. Oh God, 20, 30, and 40. And then it also came with these eyepieces, so you can further magnify what you're looking at. Well, that's part of the stand. It comes with these little weird dishes that you can put things in to look under the microscope. All kinds of cylinders to do testing and all this, but that's neither here nor there, because we're getting back to Ferning. All right, leg cramp, I'm too old for this. Hang on. All right, first I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go over the rules of how, I moved my camera around, sorry. I flipped my phone so it's over here now, and I keep looking at that side, so it's probably better. Rules of collecting your saliva for ferning. These are things that you have to make sure you're not doing so that you don't botch it up, because it'll give you false ferning, which makes you think, yay, I'm fertile, but you're not. You just caused your saliva sample to come out wrong. So one of them is, you want to do this in the morning. Well, take it back. You can do it any time of day, but make sure you have not had anything to eat or drink for about 3 hours. One. Okay, so pick any time of day you want. You can check it in the morning, check it again at night if you think it's going to change or whatever, or you're getting close. It's just a matter of don't eat or drink anything. Don't chew gum. Don't eat mints. None of that for at least 3 hours. You might be able to go 2 hours, but I'm going to say 3 because that's what I was taught. Second thing, you need to put a drop of, make sure, or when you're using this, you have to have a microscope to do this, people. I'm sorry. There are actually little Ferning-scopes actually that you can buy on Amazon. I forgot about these. They look like little miniature tubes, like a little lipstick thing. And you do the same thing. On one end of it is a glass, and you put your saliva drop, wait for it to dry, and then when you spin it, it turns a light on, and you look through it just like a little telescope. I forgot about that. Hey, why are you video bombing me, man?
What?
I'm trying to film a video.
What? You're making a video already?
Yes, please don't bump anything. Yes.
Oh, what the?
I'm making a video with a microscope.
Sorry, I was gonna.
Well, they can't
ask
see
if we
you.
can make our video now.
Well, come here. At least say hi. You're gonna come in here and bomb the scene.
Hey guys.
Yes, we can make a video, but let mommy finish this one first. Okie dokie? Sound like a plan?
Love you. Hey guys, we're gonna be making, for this gaming video, we're gonna be watching games of making money and well, some YouTube reacting.
You are totally taking over my video. I'm kicking you out of here. Okay, as soon as I get done, we'll work on it.
Just a shout out. Bye.
Shout out. Get out of here. He's so silly. You can see his ears are doing better for sure. Okay, sorry. I was saying on your slide.
And evolution.
I'm going to get this boy. On your slides, make sure that they are very clean. Usually it says soap and water is best. That way you don't have any kind of chemical cleaner that's going to alter anything in there. And then, what was my other thing? I told you about the saliva. Oh, okay, you don't eat or drink. He's on a mission to ruin my video. Okay, and make sure your slides are clean before you put your saliva on, or that if you're using one of those, it's called a fertility scope, or I'm sorry, a Ferning scope. So check Amazon, they probably have them there. I looked into them before, but I was impatient. I didn't want to wait for it to be delivered, for one thing, and two, the prices actually were higher than what I found this kit for, and that's the only reason I didn't get one of those. So, Slide's clean, and I'm going to show you how to prepare your slide in a moment, but it's going to get gross and tell you all that now, because here's another rule. You don't go in your mouth and put it on the slide. That causes false ferning or messes it up. You don't put your, you are going to have to like drool on it. I'm just telling you now. You are. So you're going to act like you're having a senior moment. Sorry, seniors, I do love y'all. Let your drool kind of, just when you get a drop, do this to get any excess to run off, because it needs to be really thin. The thicker your sample is, the longer it's going to take for that sucker to dry. It needs to be so super thin. So you just turn it, get the excess off. You do not need to use a cover slip on here like you make other microscope slides, because you're going to put this sucker down and walk away. And you're going to let it dry. Don't use a blow dryer. Don't put it in front of a fan. None of that. Because once you magnify stuff, you're going to be looking at all kinds of aliens and some planet that you just discovered, and you're going to be running over to the museum talking about, I want to name this after me. And it's really just some speck of dust that blew off the fan, or a piece of hair from your cat that got up under there that you can barely see. So don't do that. Don't do it. Okay? So anyway, so say you've done your senior drool and you've dumped it off, put it down, walk away, let it dry. It needs to be totally dry, and usually it'll look like white and crusty on here. Good to go. Then you're ready. Okay, so those are the basics on how to prep your slide and get your sample. I'm gonna pause it here. Well, yeah, I'm gonna pause it here because I'm kind of trying to insert some stuff in between while I'm talking. Sorry, one moment, please stand by. All right, this is the part where it gets gross. I have to drool on this. Oh dear, I forgot something on my arm. I believe it's toothpaste. So anyway, my only reason, if anyone's wondering why I have an L and an R, I've marked left and right so that I know that when this is on my left and my right, I need to put the spit on this side. And it's only because I felt there's like a texture on these slides on the back. There's a slight texture. On the front is very smooth, and I wanted the smooth side to put the slide on. So here we go. I haven't eaten or drinking anything yet. Drinking, whatever the word is. Cleavage, sorry. Anyway, what I normally do is, I'm going to show you this. Y'all better be glad I love you. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, y'all. Okay. Fix my shirt. Let's see if I can, I might need the light again so you guys can see this better, but. All right, so here's what I'm going to do to drool. You don't want to drool and then smear it with your finger either. That will mess it up. You don't want to stick your finger in your mouth and get a bunch of drool and then let it drip. I see people do it, but that's not how I was recommended to do it, because you could still be like smashing everything up when you put it there. So if you have any method of getting saliva in your mouth, some people can just go move your tongue around and you'll get spit. It'll build up. You're just building up spit in your mouth. You don't want like foamy, frothy spit. Just drool. That's it. We all know how to drool, people. I just did it last night. My pillow was a hot mess. Woke up and all, that's another day. All right. Basically, I will just hold my mouth open slightly. I will. You gotta get out of here. I'm in the middle of something. I'm going to get you. You wait. Oh my gosh, this kid. I'm gonna have to lock the door. This is serious. Go. Come on. Go. We'll do your video in a minute. The longer I take, the longer it's gonna take to do yours. Children, you love them. Okay, I'm gonna hold my mouth open slightly, and I'm gonna move my tongue around like just side to side until I can actually feel like saliva building up under my tongue. And I'm gonna just let it kind of come off my lip in a string until it drips on here. Please stand by. This may take a couple seconds. Okay, here we go. It's my bathroom, so it don't matter if I drool on it. All right. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah. That's it. I just dripped some drool. Hopefully y'all saw that. So I have a big drip of drool here, and I'm just going to take it to the sink and drop off the excess because I don't need it. Shake that last drop off. All right, so basically, once I did that, I'm just moving it around slightly. You want to get kind of a dot on here. Now, if you don't have enough, then drool again. Here we go, repeat performance. Because I dumped off a lot of it. This is such great fun. Who knew that I went to college to turn around and drool on slides? All right, so this time I put a big drop. Here's another method. You can put a big drop of spit on there and then just kind of swirl it. Just know that when you have the edges, usually will still hold a lot more of the saliva, like it doesn't level like a perfect little pool. So if you end up with a big drop on there, kind of like well, that didn't help, Jen. I kind of have a big drop. Let me find my camera lens right here. See that big drop right there? That one I'm not going to look at under the microscope, even though it may be dry, because it's going to be concentrated because it's so thick. What you want is the thin, thin, thin stuff. So I'm just going to take it, set it over here because nobody will mess with it, and I'm going to let it dry. And that's it. It's going to sat right there. I know it looks like it's touching, doesn't it? It scared the heck out of me the first time because I had to zoom in a lot. So anyway, I'm going to pause this here because this is going to have to take a drying period. And I'm going to let you guys know how I got this kit. So, it's not so good like that's it. That is all there is. The longest part of this is going to be for you to wait for it to dry. The thinner your specimen is, the quicker it'll dry too. So clearly, you don't want a glob on there. All right. This big monstrosity of kits I get. Mother Russia. I'm kidding. Actually, I got this in Nigerian scan. It was very good. Man want to marry me, offer me too good. I keep good. I keep microscope. I not marry. I'm kidding. I'm just fucking around today. I'm in a mood, y'all. My heart's feeling good today. All right, so see, that's why I didn't want to hold the kit up. Where's the price on here? Because I got this stupid light of death. Get that out of there. All right, so this kit was $29.99. I don't know if it's showing because my lens is so blurry. Yeah. So apparently, when the people first bought this, this was $29.99, and it's a hobby shop kit. Comes with all that there. A lot. So it's crazy to me. I don't know how old this kid is, but I know that the guy said he bought it for his kids and he thought they'd be interested in the science stuff and they were not. So, you know, it's that parent thing where you're like, when you try to get your kids into something. But anyway, I'm going to say it's probably pretty old because I went to the hobby shops here. They didn't even have microscope kits. And the one that I called that did, their microscope is like $200 because this is the no joke deal that you find in a real lab. I called a couple medical supply places that have like lab equipment things. Ooh, big bucks, big bucks. And then the Ferning scopes, I don't remember the price. I will try to look it up and insert a picture of one. Yeah, give me a second. Gotta keep making these stoppages so I can edit later. Okay, so I didn't get the Ferning scope because I was being impatient and I wanted it now. And I didn't want to pay, I wanted to see, actually, I don't know why it came to my brain, Craigslist. You know, when people want to get rid of everything junk there is, and now there's so many other websites, letgo.com and all these other things. I just went under, back then it was Craigslist. I went under Craigslist and put in Microscope, and I came up with all kinds of like professional industrial ones, businesses, laboratories that are just getting rid of extra stock, that are getting rid of used equipment because they've upgraded. I think the cheapest one I found was probably around $60, $70. So I was still like, because it's a super duper professional. Surely you must need that. I almost did it. And then this little beauty of an ad popped up. Hopefully I'm not showing deodorant marks. That would be so embarrassing. I'm probably sweating though because this light is hot. This little beauty popped up right here. This big box with the telescope and everything science that you need to be a lab rat geek. And then some. And it was on there for $20. Yeah. So I see the sticker with the $29.99, which that's unheard of. I can tell you I went to Toys R Us here. That's our big toy store, which actually just closed. And then the one in the mall, I can't remember the name of that one, but both of those, their microscope kits were, I think the cheapest one was like, Toys R Us, I want to say it was like 90 something dollars, but that one wasn't in stock, of course. And the next one was like 120 or 140, something like that. I was like, no, bro. So I happened to find this Craigslist ad, just got a whim to, let me check Craigslist. 20 bucks. I was expecting, don't do it. Set that over there, we're safe. Anything needs to be away from me when I'm filming. What's my toothbrush sitting in? Shot toothbrush out of there. Go away. It's not about you. Not about you either. That's my hair bottle. I was expecting this. And actually not even this. This is heavy duty. It has a lot of functions to this thing. It can actually, let me see if I can show you. It has, like I showed earlier, let me see if I can get it close enough to show you now. Wrong side of the camera, I'll know what you're doing. Okay, that's the magnifications right there. That's the 3 to 600 that I told you about. This was the highest, so it goes up to 1200 times, which is a lot. Don't need that much. So basically the little pieces are just spinning down there. It looks like it's gonna touch your glass and break it. You can actually break a glass slide if you slide this little doohickey up too much. That's what this knob here is for. Moves this up and down. But this one, no. It never gets any closer than that, and there is still a gap, as you can see on this side here. The only thing I had to fix on here was I had to put a little duct tape, fixes everything, right there, because this little tip of this blue piece to protect your slides when you put them under from the metal, it's missing the tip, and I didn't want it scratching up my slides, so I put a little duct tape on there. This comes off, and this piece, your eyepiece, actually has additional magnification on it for 10 more times or 20 more times, and that gets added to what you have here. I'm telling you people, powerful. So let me see if I can get it back in spot. This is Microscope Basics for the cheap ones. And I wasn't expecting it to be this heavy duty metal thing. I mean, it's pretty solid. I expected a cheap little plastic kids one that I was like, yeah, I might be able to see. But whatever. Ferning scopes are actually pretty darn simple. There's nothing super duper fancy. They're simply plastic with the magnified. I want to say that the magnification they claim that you need to see is only like, I want to say 100 or 200 times. I don't know. Look it up. Google. It'll tell you. The Ferning scopes actually are already specifically at the right thing, but it's not very high. That's why I didn't want the high-end microscope. So here's the bottom, and the way a microscope works is that you have, obviously, this flat platform. These are your magnifiers. There's your eyepiece. Down here is a light. And I told you, be prepared, always be prepared. I'm gonna have to tilt it, but I'll show you. See, the light comes on this. It doesn't have anything on off other than when I tilt and these two pieces of metal make contact. That light has to shine up through these, and see how many different holes there are? Look at that. That's red, there's blue. It even has different colors, so you can view different slides of things in different colors, because apparently certain things need to be seen a certain way. I had messed it up now. I gotta figure out where I had it. Nope, we don't want blue. Let's go back here, right there. All right, and the other odd thing it has is a mirror, because apparently if you have a room that has dim lighting, and it explains it in there, I don't use it, but you can actually use the mirror to reflect light from another source, and it'll come up through here, which here being that hole that I just showed you, where you're gonna go up to the eyepiece. I will say this has a little tiny bit of dust inside it, and I took this whole sucker apart when I got it. He said his kids, I guess, used it outside. So somehow down deep in the valley, they got a piece of speck of dust, but it's on the outer edges, so I don't care. So you might see something around the edges when I show you the fern pictures. Don't worry about all that. Okay. And then basically this one is cordless. All of them should be. Microscopes generally are. And all this one takes is 2 AA batteries. I did have some corrosion in here, so I did some microscope cleaning 101 this morning. He's still hanging around there. All right, so basically that's it. And the only other feature I thought was really cool on this is if you put something on a slide and you've got your light bright, those of y'all are old enough to remember what a light bright. So you got your light bright, flipped it the wrong way. Stop it, Jennifer. Act like you know what you're doing. You always film your videos and you're never organized. What's wrong with you? All right, so I got my light. I'll tilt it that way so you can see it. This, take this off and you turn it and you have a wall, preferably a white one or a screen, and you go bam. It's now a projector. How neat is that? It actually will project whatever's on the slide onto a wall or onto a screen so that your peeps can see it. So anyway, while that's drying, I'm going to mention this really quickly too. Let me turn this off so I'm not wasting the battery. I'm going to mention this too. I derailed my train of thought right off the track. All right, what was I going to mention? Something about this. Oh, I'm sorry. It's really hard, and it takes a long time to do this. So I'm going to show you guys the ferning, once I get the phone where I can hold it over this eyepiece, because I don't know if you guys can see how tiny that is. I have to align my lens of my phone with that and not have my hands shaking and moving all over the place, okay? So I am probably going to have to, I don't think I can film because I'll tell you this, when you look through that eyepiece with your lens on your phone, just a millimeter of movement, it's gone. You see nothing. Pitch black, you're out in a black hole. Then all of a sudden you move it back and there's a bright light and all the blinding me and there, oh, it's right there, but then the zooming goes and it's a bitch. So I'm going to take probably a couple still shots. And I'm going to voice over them and maybe put some oh yeah, if I do still shots, I can put some pointers on there. That way I can show you guys. I'm going to do that because once I get the phone where I have it, I can take a picture and hold my hand steady enough for that. But for filming, forget about it. It's going to be all over the place to try to film through that lens because it's a beast, I'm telling you. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break now and go make some breakfast. And I'm going to come back when that slide is dry. Look at it, look at it, look at it. Nope, still runny. Trying to get it a little more. See if I can get that excess to get off the edge. Because I've got plenty in this circle right here. I'm going to try to hold it up for you guys. Jennifer. I keep forgetting I've got this like precariously balanced here. Dum-dum. All right, so you can see on here, I think, what can I put behind it that's dark enough? Because I just, maybe, no, helpful, not helpful. Is this video helpful? Click yes, no. All right, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put it up here. It'll hit the light. You'll see it eventually. Work with me, children. All right, the drool that's still dripping is right there. It's wet. The part that is drying is the edge of the circle. This sucks so bad. I don't have a contrast to show you guys. Let me think. How can I do this? Maybe I can't. Okay, right there. You can see with the light glare, that top round edge has started turning white. It's going to look kind of like white crusty drool, just like it does when you come up off your pillow and it's all running down your chin in the morning. Don't act like y'all ain't had that happen. Don't act like it. Anyway, so it's drying. I'm ignoring that big glob here that I'm trying to get off of the scene. Because you really don't need much at all. You don't need a whole slide full. You don't need much. You just need a drop. And it can be tiny because once you magnify it, trust me, you're gonna be it'll look like you put that much on there and you'll be surfing around a pizza. So the smaller your drop, the better, and the thinner, the better. That is extremely important. let it dry. Oh, I'm so beat up from the hospital. Look at my arms. I look like I got beat down. These are digging all around in me, but that's all right. I'm here. That's all that matters. All right, breakfast time, and I'll be back. Quit calling my name, little boy. I would not have to keep delaying making the rest of my video. Come in the bathroom like 3 times now to finish this, and it's so bright. Chase is, Mom. Okay, so my slide is dry. There you go. See how it turns into this white crusty thing? Finally. So I'm gonna go ahead and line it up over here, which is basically, stick it under these clips with my ghetto tape. I am using the wrong magnification. I need this one. 300 to 600. Just have to tinker around with it and see. All right, hang on. I've done this in a while. It's the one in the back, Jen. It's the one in the back. Get it together, sister. Get it together. And basically, I'll turn my little light on. Tightened up this metal clip this morning so I couldn't spin this as much, but there we go. Make sure it's aiming right through that little porthole there. Oh dear, these have moved around because that's not the one I usually have. That's the red one, that's the yellow, blue, foggy white, clear, and that one is the one I usually use, so. Every microscope's different, clearly. You're just gonna have to get used to the one you have. So I am all set up. Light is going through the portal. We're ready to travel. What I did notice is I didn't wear glasses when I did this before, so it is mega hard, and I have to turn this light off. Let me see how dark that gets in here. Yeah, all right, so let me do this. That's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to pause this and go ahead and get the picture through the lens and set it up basically, but you're basically just using this knob to come down until you can see what looks like ferns. It's gonna look like plants. And I will tell you this, that it took me probably, when I got my microscope, you're gonna have to tinker with it. It took me a good 30 minutes because I kept thinking, this thing's broken, it doesn't work, I'm not seeing anything, I just see lint, I see dust. And I had to actually get a lot closer than I thought I would. Not because of the magnification, it's just that's where it's all out of focus until you get it into the perfect realm of wizardry. And the other thing was I was not used to the fact that I had to go like very slow as you're doing this part here. For something like this, I mean, it's barely moving in because all of a sudden it's like, bam, it's there, and it would go right back out. So once I get it there, I'm gonna go ahead and insert the photo that I take through here because I'm gonna have to balance my phone right on here, and trust me, it's some magician wizardry, witchcraft stuff, but it's hard. It's not easy to do. I'm sure those of you who have cameras that you have, some kind of a grapple hook thingy, I don't know the official word for it. But if you could have one of those, it would be a lot easier because then you would clearly be able to get your camera to stay still. I have to hold it with my hand. I don't have some fanciness hanging from up here or any of those mounts or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna take the pictures. I will label anything I need to label, and I will voice over it for you guys so that I can explain what you're looking at. So I will see you shortly. All right, guys, I know it's dark and I said I was going to put up stills. I'll still put them up at the end of the video and mark things, but basically a bright light is not me going into the other realm. It is actually the microscope. And I got to figure out, I just had what happened here? It got so dim. Okay, I'm trying to shoot right down through the lens, through there. So give me a second, because it's going to be when the really bright light of circle comes up. And my hands are shaking. I can move minimally, like not at all. Okay, let me figure out how I can get to where that spot is. It's like looking through a mirror when you are moving things one way and then, okay, I need you to focus on that spot right there, phone. Just had it a second ago. This is a bitch. There it is. Oh. God, sorry, it keeps coming in and out. Trying to lean against the wall, so my hands are shaky always from a car accident I had years ago. It's just like a game of Tilty World. It's trying to figure out like which direction you tilt the phone. Not to mention I've left it on all this time, so the battery's gotten a little bit low. Stop yelling! Sorry, now I yell. There it is. If I could just set the damn phone down on there, you think it would just sit there, but no, gotta be difficult. All right, hang on. Where's this freaking light? This is exactly why I said I would rather do stills. Okay, that's the ferning. So you can see how it looks like ferns. I was not lying to you. That would be considered positive ferning for being fertile window. But I will say this. You can still get lots more branches off of those branches. But basically, stop, damn you. Sorry, my hand is shaking again. I'm trying to stay still. Darn neck injuries. I have like a muscle tremor all the time. Plus, I think these batteries aren't as bright as they could possibly be, so that, there you go. Sorry, I had to stop talking for a second because of the fact that there was no way I was going to hold my hand still while I was breathing and talking. So that's as good as I can do for you people. Sorry, I'm borrowing Mom's phone, so now I got to send this video to myself somehow. So I'll be back. Well, that was a fun and painful process. I had to go check with my techie son in there and figure out how the hell to get the video off of my mother's phone. That is going to be the Microscope shot. I did do a live one. You know, it's very hard and it's almost 3 minutes long just for that part, but I did finally get everything to stop shaking and moving enough that you guys should be able to see it and see what I mean by I'm not fertile right now at all, but I have a lot of ferning. So there will be like a third of that for most people, like very big vacant spots when you're not fertile. I just did it myself. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and let you guys go. I don't think there was anything else I needed to note on the ferning. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I get my notifications. I don't have a zillion subs yet, so I am pretty quick on replying if somebody asks. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It's still Labor Day weekend here. I'm just glad to be healthy and alive and spending the rest of my time over here with little boy Blue. He's bugging me for the gaming video and he wants pancakes at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We just had potato bacon soup for lunch. Baked potato and bacon soup. Anyway, I am off to do motherly things and then edit because this is probably going to take me a couple of hours for this video. Trying to think, anything else I needed to note? Nope, I think that was it. Even if it wasn't, I'll just have to add it in at the end of the video on some pictures and slides. But I am going to go ahead and put the ferning pictures that I have spinning everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and put up some pictures of ferning. Pictures of ferning. You hear that? Big dog. He's on guard. That means somebody's walking past the front of our house. I don't know who. Got to go check on that. Bull mastiff. Yeah. So anyway, thank you. Sorry for the long video, but I did want to be really detailed in it. I'll go ahead and put those rules in writing on some slides at the end of this video. Sorry about the mic if I keep hitting it. Explaining those again so you guys don't have to go back and like re-listen to it, as well as I think I have 2 or 3 shots of ferning from probably like a couple years ago, but I kept them on my computer just because I thought they were super cool. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Thank you for being my subs and thank you new people for watching. Love you all. Have a great day. Bye.